So we currently have the custom group summon going on, and a lot of people saw my tier list and kind of got the misconception that this banner is a must-pull banner because you can choose a lot of limiteds and a lot of units you don't have. Well, the thing is, I'm here to tell you that this banner is one of the not good banners to pull for, and that is because, first off, if you have a unit that you want, then you have a 0.33% chance of getting that unit. And most of the time when you're pulling on these banners, you are most likely going for one or the other, the artifact or the hero. So for my selection here, I'm going for Guiding Light, Albert's Ritual Sword, and Bihu, right? I don't care about Cerise, I already have her, Charlotte, I already have her, and also Sphere of Inferno. Because of that, half of the things I pull are pretty much useless, whereas if you're pulling on something like Laya's banner, her artifact's very good, and also she's very good. So 100% of the time, if I pull a 5-star, it's going to be very, very good for my account. Whereas this one, if you look at the odds here, right, you only have a 0.33% chance to get Bihu, and then for Elbrus and also Guiding Light, it's 0.35. So a lot of the times I won't even get what I want, right? So on average, 1% of the pulls I do, I'll get something that I want. Whereas on Laya's banner, if I want her and the artifact, I'll have basically a 2% chance, a little bit higher, right? Because her artifact percent chance is going to be like 1 point something, right? 1.05. So yeah, just looking at like the stats and the percentages, this banner will net you what you want, mostly half of the time. Now, of course, there's going to be people who want both the unit and the artifact. Of course, that's going to be a thing. But I'd say for the majority of the players now who have been playing for more than like 6 months, you're most likely looking for one or the other. Guiding Light is going to be one of the biggest ones people are looking for, and Cerise as a unit is just not that good right now. You don't see her anywhere, maybe in PvE and expeditions, but for the most part, you're not going to use her. Same with Elbrus, one of the best artifacts in the current meta with Bellion, Navy Captain Landy, and Bissell Athene, but Charlotte you'll never see anywhere at all. And Bihu recently got buffed. Honestly, this one I'm not really too sure about yet, but you can slot him in for like Luna or even Landy, who's popular, like Green Landy. And Green Landy, she's very good for PvE, but her artifact, Wall of Order, is terrible. So yeah, you kind of get what I'm saying. A lot of the times you are split down the middle, half the things you want and half the things you don't want, which makes it statistically not advantageous for you. Also, a lot of the heroes you can't get from the current custom group summon because they released too recently are very good, and that's the bummer, right? So example would be Ocean Breeze Lilica. She is a very good unit in PvP. She has that ice cream buff, which heals you. She has the defense buff. She can cut openers with her S2, making her very good into Conquer Lilius, and just any opener in general with non-attack skills. And because of that, she's a very good unit, but she's not available because she released too recently. Also, her artifact is very good as well, Soul Constellation, where it will give Soul Weavers a CR push if they actually proc within non-attack skill on the enemy side. You can see increased effect resist 40%, which is gigantic. And also, after an enemy uses a non-attack skill, you'll see our push. Of course, most of you guys already know that, but what I'm trying to say is Ocean Breeze Lilica is very good, and her artifact is very good. She's a good candidate, right? Because she would be very good to pull for her and her artifact, right? Also, another example would be like Lethe, right? Lethe, also a unit that's not available, but her and her artifact are very good. She's very good. I wouldn't say Lethe is very good, she's just good. She is pretty decent into certain units such as like Arrowell, Navy Captain Landy, and stuff like that. Things that don't have injuries specifically. But her artifact is amazing as well. It's just very good for every health bruiser in the game. It just gives you extra damage and just more health to make you actually do more damage as well. And the list keeps going on and on, right? You have units such as Midnight Gall Lilius, right? So if you can find her because she's a thief here. She's also not available, and she's a pretty decent unit as well. And you actually can't get her because she released too recently. I really think Smilegate for these custom group summons now, they should just cut out the units that released, within the past 6 months or haven't had a rerun, because it just makes it kind of pointless, especially in the current state of the game where they're just making new units better than the old units. They're not really buffing old units. It just makes this banner pointless because on this banner, 90% of these 5-star units, you'll never really see any play, right? Yeah, like in this top list right now that are available, literally none of these units are like, wow, you need to pull for them. Literally none of them, right? I think the most played unit in this fire list right here we see is going to be like Fire Lilius maybe, because she can be used on Guild Wars defense. If I scroll down to the next page, let's just look at the top ice units. Yeah, pretty much none of these units, right? Except like Ran, and I guess like pretty much it, right? Everything else is like not really used, right? I guess sometimes used, but nothing that you really need to pull for. Even Ran is only for cleavers. If we look at the top Earth units, I'm not saying top because they're the best, I'm saying like at the top of the list, pretty much none of these, right? Maybe like Yulha, right? Yulha is probably the best here. So you kind of get what I'm saying. Out of the available units, there's not really anything that you extremely need for your account anymore. All the ones that you really want are the ones that are not available, right? So for example, I think the best one would be like Ocean Breeze Luca. The other ones, right, that I'm talking about that you might really want, like Tamarin, right, for PvE, right? Or even Rowana, like right over here. Very good for PvE and PvP. And even Destina, who I ranked all in the S tier, even though they're available from the custom group summon, they're also available actually from the story summon, which you can pretty much do whenever you want. You just have to do these unit side stories, and this story summon is always waiting for you. There's no expiry like this custom group summon. So if you do choose them on this custom group summon, and you choose 3 really good ones, yeah, it could be good. But you're wasting your bookmarks now for what probably will happen later is they'll probably release even better banners, which I'll show you in a second, has happened in the past. So you're way better off just pulling for these units on these story summons anyways, because if you think about it, you'll probably end up using the same bookmarks for those units and their artifacts as well, because you either have to go to 120 for pity to actually get them, so 360 summons total to guarantee it, or what will actually end up happening is you'll, have this 0.33% chance. What most likely will happen is you'll get the same unit twice, more often than not, so you'll have to go to pity anyways. Whereas if you pull on the story summon, right, and you pull on those 3 separate banners, what will happen is you can guarantee that every unit you get is a new one, because as soon as you get the unit, you can just stop summoning and choose a different banner, if that makes sense. So you'll end up wasting summons on this custom group summon, and honestly, dupes are not that great, especially if you're in the early game, which is where you need most of these units that are available, right? Like those Soul Weavers that I showed you with Rowana, Destina, Tamarin, you know what I'm talking about, right? However, all is not bad. There is something good you can get from this event, and I think that is artifacts, right? Just choose the 3 artifacts that you really want. If you have powder left over, you don't have to summon on the banner at all. Just go to the Powder of Knowledge shop, and you'll be able to get the artifacts that you want anyways with just powder and then not pull at all. That's kind of what I'm doing for Guiding Light. Just make sure you don't choose a banner that has an artifact that's already available from this Powder of Knowledge rotation. If you scroll down, the reason why Elbrus isn't showing up here when I chose Charlotte is because it's available in the current rotation, so don't make that mistake. So let's actually look at the main reason also why I'm saying that this banner is a bait. So if we look at the last custom triple RGB group summon, halfway through actually, so after the first week passed of this event, they released a limited unit which everyone wanted to pull for. So that was kind of annoying. During this custom triple group summon event, they released a limited, and then after this whole triple group summon ended, they actually had 3 back-to-back new units. One, Elvira, being extremely broken on release, so everyone wanted to pull for her. Blooming Lidica and Biblis looked amazing and were pretty decent in their niche. So they kind of, have this trend where you'll see even worse when it was before that they released new units and good units during or slightly after this custom triple group summon. If we go back to the last one before that, you'll see halfway through again, they released or re-released the Slime collab with Nilim, Rimuru, and the new unit, Benamaru. And Rimuru was very good at the time, still is. Nilim was pretty decent for PvP, she's pretty good for PvE now. And they had Benamaru come out, who was very strong on release. He was a very good counter to Conquer Ilias, still is for Guild Wars defense and stuff like that. And it made him very powerful, everyone pulled for him. And his artifact Tachi was extremely powerful as well. So you can kind of see, maybe halfway through this event, we'll get another rerun or something. Now, if you look at the last one before that, you'll see that it was the same thing. Halfway through, they released a new unit of Rumka. And also, right after it ended, they released a collab with Espa, with Winter, Ningning, Giselle, and Karina. And you guys all know Karina. Her and her artifact, disgustingly broken, right? So, yeah, you can kind of see at the end of these custom triple group summons, for the past 3 ones we had, there was always something that happened either halfway through or right after. What about the last one? Surely not, right? Custom triple group summon. What do? Oh, wow. They reran another collab, the ReZero collab. So you kind of see what I'm saying, and another new hero. So, and another new one, and a limited, and then reran Full Metal Alchemist. So you kind of get what I'm saying. This banner is always a bait, I'd say, for your bookmarks. If there isn't a unit that you're dying to have, that you need to have, it's definitely worth skipping, because it's kind of signaling to me we have another big time period of good summons and reruns and collabs and new limiteds and new units to come. So definitely a way to, drain your bookmarks. And Smilegate is a business, although they're very nice in giving out summons a lot of the times, they also need to make money, and I think this is a way for them to bait you to get your bookmarks spent and then buy bookmarks or spend money to pull for the better banners that are probably coming at the end of February, nearing the beginning of March. So overall, I think this banner is a bait. We can see it in the past here. Also, the rates, not that great. It's pretty good for your artifacts, I'd say, but yeah, just look at this, right? Slime collab, back to back new units, 3 limiteds, maybe 4. I'm not sure if Elvira was limited, I don't remember. New collab here, and then the last one, right? Rerun of ReZero. So yeah, definitely good things to come, more banners to come. So as much as you want to pull on this custom triple group summon to get like dupes and stuff like that, or new units, a lot of the good ones are available from story summon, and a lot of the other good ones are not even available. So I would just hold out. Thanks for watching, guys. If you guys found this video helpful and you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you guys hit that like button, and I'll see you guys next video.